Okay, first thing, I like the plates you're using. Lyoko plates are very nice, very fun to use. Second, not exactly sure why you're doing this just in socks. Maybe you don't have weightlifting shoes. That's okay. Hopefully you'll get some. Just be aware, usually you'll do cleans and jerks and snatches and all that in weightlifting shoes. Not the biggest deal if you could not get them, in which case I would recommend some flat-soled shoes anyway, not barefoot or just with socks. By the way, just putting that out there. And just to say, the weightlifting shoes are not just for the heel and for the enhanced mobility that provides, but they have an incredibly strong and solid base in that heel made of very good quality wood or very hard plastic. What that does is allows excellent transfer of force through the ground into the barbell. So for example, when you do this power clean and then you want to be pushing into the ground, you don't want any lost energy to that. The weightlifting shoes are very good for that. Second, when you do a clean or snatch or a jerk, you need to stomp into the ground as you're getting under the bar. The proper sole of the shoe really helps this stomp, makes the force transfer very well. So just a few points for you to consider. Now let's get into the actual lift. So back looks pretty much set. See if you can get that chest a bit more proud, but other than that, looks good. Now the big thing here is you're starting a little bit too behind the bar. You need these shoulders over the bar a bit more. So maybe tilt these hips a bit higher, have these shoulders more in front of the bar. You'll see as you actually begin to lift it, this is exactly what happens, but you want to be in that position already. So as we watch, notice the hips tilting forward and your shoulders actually moving forward in front of everything. See, let's watch again. You'll actually see your shoulders tipping forward. See how they're here and how they then move forward. So this position, if you can imagine this position with your hips just a little lower, but your shoulders in this exact position, the back nice straight and tight like this, just your hips a little lower, so a little bit more bend in the legs, hips a little lower. This would be a very good position to start from. So I'd recommend next time you're doing these power cleans, get in this starting position. Okay, this is simple. You just do it. Look at how it is. You can ask someone, see if it looks right. Take a picture, look in the mirror, or do video as you're doing it to make sure it looks okay. But just make sure you're starting in this type of position when you're doing these cleans, power cleans, anything like that. And maybe that chest a bit more open and a bit more curve in this upper back. Let's move on after that. So in this part, we want to be bringing the bar in. It's a little bit too far away from your body here. You can see all that space. Right around here, we'd want to sort of be bringing it back up into the hips. Now instead, you're moving the hips too much to the bar. Notice as your hips are going forward, the bar is not really going back. So really, at this point, you want your back to sort of hinge to be straight up. So your hips don't come forward, but the bar comes right into this pocket over here. Tapping a little, but just not enough. And in fact, you can see then you need time to sort of transition into this position. So this is a good position. Heels could be a bit more on the ground, but otherwise this is a good position. However, you should get to it by now hinging that back up here. Because if we look at this in normal speed, let's just look real quick what happens there. You're going to see the bar slow down and position gets worse and all the rhythm is off. You can see that brief pause there. But anyway, let's move on after this. So it comes out a little. You can see here the part of the feet coming down to the ground. This would be another point where those weightlifting shoes are helpful. I like to see when you are doing this power clean, have your hips a tiny bit lower. It's a power clean as long as your hips are above parallel. So a little lower, I think you'll receive the bar better. Elbows are too low here. And then as you stand, you kind of correct it. So don't be afraid to lower those hips a bit more in this power clean, get in a better position. And also pause in this position. When you do the power clean and you're here with the bent legs, hold this for about 3 seconds. Really need to get strong isometric strength and learn what it feels like to have the bar on you like that. Don't rush, because when it gets heavy, if you try and rush, you'll just fail. So you need to have a lot of strength in this position. And those elbows a lot higher. I don't know if it's in flexibility or just the position you're in, but these need to be higher. So if need be, pause in this position, lift those elbows up, then stand. Pause for at least 3 seconds. So same thing basically in all these reps. You can see yourself come forward off that floor. There's that pause as it comes into the hips, because you have to see is this position you're kind of not really putting any vertical force in the board, only horizontal by pushing your hips into it, which is not what you want to do. And then again, this is called better, but make sure pause in this position to get a lot of familiarity there and a lot of strength there. Try and be a little bit more controlled when you put the bar down, or just completely drop it, but don't let it sort of tug you down like that.